Most men's wives don't listen to their husbands at all. In fact, most husbands, maybe you're included in this, they'll say, yeah, she doesn't listen to me. In fact, she doesn't take accountability for anything. She never apologizes. She never does what I say. She undermines my authority with the kids. And really, it's just kind of like her house, and I live in it as one of the kids. And he doesn't really want to admit that, but that's really what kind of ends up happening. And so when you're in this situation, it's completely emasculating you. And you don't know what to do and how to change the dynamic, because when you try to bring it up, it leads to an argument. And if you're in this position where you've been in it for a while, you don't even want to bring the argument up, because you don't want to get into this knockdown, drag-out fight that never seems to fucking end. So if you want to turn this situation around as fast as possible, this video is for you. I'm going to show you exactly how to turn this around. So make sure you watch all the points and stick around to the end, because if you miss any one of these, you're just going to find yourself back into the same situation. My name is Ed Baxter, and I help guys in betrayal situations. I've coached thousands of men. Tens of thousands of men have come through my doors in one form or another. I've had over 3,000 guys come through the Betray the Badass program. And that's what we do. We'll get you to that place where you make the right decision for you and your children. The reason that she doesn't respect your leadership is because you hesitate. You're not certain about yourself, you're not certain about where you want to go in your life, and you're not certain about the kind of relationship you want to have with her. And so because you're not leading with certainty, she doesn't really take it. So what ends up happening is she just says, okay, well, I'll fill the gap here. He's not telling me what he wants, so I'm just going to go do this. Or you don't go with certainty. She's like, well, I don't really believe him. He doesn't really have much authority here. He's hesitating all the time. I guess I'm just going to make the decision, because if I don't make the decision, nobody here will. If I don't clean the house, nobody will clean it. If I don't make dinner, it's just not going to get done. And you'll hear her say this all the time, because there's a sense that you are not taking ownership of what's happening in the house. And you second guess yourself, because you're afraid of the reprisal of what's going to happen with her. You're afraid that she's going to say something to you and it's just going to knock you down. And because of this, there's this element of approval seeking coming from you. You need her to approve of you. Because you need her to approve of you, you second guess yourself and you hesitate, because you don't want to make the wrong decision and get her angry and upset at you. And that's a problem. You end up dancing on eggshells all the time. You're just trying to avoid the collision. So it's easier to just let her have her own way. And because it's easier to just let her have your own way, what you want starts to diminish. What you want just disappears. And because it disappears, you forget who you are. And because you forget who you are, you start following what she's doing. She's just making a decision. She's planning all the vacations, all the dates, all the outings for the kids. She's planning the meals. She's planning the household. And there is no leadership from you, because she's just filling the gap because you don't want to do it. Or when the collision is there, you don't stand into your certainty and walk that collision through. You don't walk her back into her heart so that she can see the benefit of doing what you want to do. And because she's filled the gap for most of the things in your life, she doesn't respect your leadership, and she's not going to follow what you're doing. So you just fall back and you just follow whatever she happens to do, because it's just easier. And then when you do have a problem, or you're trying to voice an opinion, the problem is that you just talk too much and you act too little. So you'll say, hey, I want this to change with the kids. You're undermining my authority, but you don't actually make a plan to make a difference. You're like, well, I couldn't get her buy-in, so I'm just going to let it go. And so you don't actually make any moves. And this goes along with the relationship too, with the boundaries. Because you set a boundary, you don't have any follow-through. You're too afraid to follow through with what you want in the relationship, or the consequence of not following the boundary, because you're afraid you're going to lose her. And because you're afraid you're going to lose her, you let her get away with whatever she wants. And this is what happens in codependency. You can do whatever you want, just please don't leave me. And then from her perspective, she's like, yeah, I can do whatever the fuck I want, or I'll just leave you. And the guy knows, well, I guess that's the way it is. There's nothing I can do about that. This is just where we're at. And so when you don't have any boundaries with teeth, nothing ever changes. And nothing ever changes because you're still abdicating all of your responsibility and leadership to her. And so if you want to turn this around, you have to start acting. Start making decisions, and then make powerful moves to make it happen. Stop sitting back and waiting for her to do everything for you. And because this dynamic goes on for long periods of time, she starts to hold you in contempt. She starts having these side remarks coming at you, where she just starts talking down to you, or rolling her eyes, or interrupting you, or just completely dismissing you out of turn, because you've been lacking in your own personal power. And because you've been lacking in your own personal power, she starts to see you as weak. And when she starts to see you as weak, there's this narrative that's going on in her head that, I think I picked the wrong guy. This guy is not going to get it done. This guy's not stepping into power. This guy is not the guy that can lead me or this family to a greater future. And there's something visceral about this sense of power that she's looking for from you. And it is an absolute attraction killer when she doesn't see that from you, when she sees you hesitating and waiting for her to make the decisions and lead the family. And so what ends up happening is you get these comments and you let this disrespect keep happening to you. You let her roll her eyes. You don't go into the collision. You don't talk and seek some sort of resolution. You don't hold firm into who you are and what you believe in your life. And you allow this disrespect to happen. And the thing is it starts to grow inch by inch, year over year, before you're completely emasculated. She's talking down to you. You can't have any conversation where she doesn't look at you with some sort of contempt or disrespect. And when you get into this place, most men seize up. They cannot move. When they come into Soul Seducer, I'm like, yeah, you got to tell your wife no. And he completely locks up. He doesn't know what to do with himself because he's been in this place of weakness for so long, for so many years, that he doesn't know the first move to make. In fact, he just tells her no, says, yeah, I don't want to do that. And his heart is just racing. And he's like, God, I think I've ruined my marriage. And then all of a sudden he's like, Ed, I think I should go apologize. I'm like, don't apologize, dude. You didn't do anything wrong. You just said this is what you want. He's like, well, I don't know what to do. I said, just hold. Don't do anything, just hold. And then the next day she comes back and she apologizes. It's like, how the hell did that happen? I didn't know that it was even possible. Yeah, because when you start stepping into your leadership role in the relationship, she'll just naturally start to follow in. And guys don't see that. They think it's something they have to wrestle away from her. It's like, no, you don't actually have to wrestle it away from her. You just have to actually go step into that place, and then she's going to naturally follow. A lot of women know this intrinsically. A lot of women know this. And so they get so upset when a guy doesn't do it. They just get so frustrated. Like, when are you going to step up? When are you going to be the guy? He's like, oh, I don't know what that means. I'm trying to make her happy. It's like, no, don't make her happy. Go be the guy. Go be certain. Go do stuff. Go have some leadership. Go do what you want in life, and then she will follow through. She will follow suit. Now, she might test it. She might come up and say, well, I don't believe you. I don't believe the certainty of what you're talking about. And she might come at you with a little bit of spice. And if you capitulate, you crumble at the first sign of any kind of friction, then yeah, she's going to hammer you on that. She's like, yep, he's all talk, he's no action. Just like I thought, just like he always does. He couldn't lead himself out of a wet paper bag. And so what ends up happening, you have these long arguments with her. And it's like you're just winning. And what happens, you have this long arguments with her. It's this battle where you're both trying to win, both trying to get your point across. It's like, if she could just understand my point, then we can get around this. And she's like, well, if he could just understand my point, we can get past this. And you go back and forth in this game of power and control. This is a big issue with a relationship when you're trying to have this power struggle. The thing is you're getting all amped up with her. You're getting all upset with her. The thing is this is not what she needs. What she needs is for you to calm down and lead to a conclusion. Lead the place to something of resolution. What is it that's best for the family, not what is best for your emotional ego? Most men cannot do this because they cannot calm themselves down, so they don't see a path forward. All they see is this, well, I just did it because of this. And he backpedals and he justifies himself and he gets defensive. And she's like, I don't care about all that shit. I don't care about why you did that. I need to see a pivot. I need to see a change. I need you to move in some way. I'm getting frustrated because you don't take action. You don't take leadership and take action. So you have these fights that just last forever. Or he doesn't hold boundaries and he lets her talk down to him, lets her emasculate him, and he's not willing to walk away, so it continues to happen forever. The longer this happens, the more she's going to see you as weak in comparison to herself. She's going to say, I'm a better man than he is. He's stronger than I am. And so when you come to this place where she cheats on you or she wants out of the relationship, you can understand that fundamentally she's not getting what she needs in a relationship as a woman. She needs you to be powerful. Yeah, there is a place for connection. Yes, there is a place for coming to an understanding and communication and these type of things, but not at the expense of power. Most guys will double down on connection instead of demonstrating his own personal power, and this is the problem. You go to a marriage counselor, they're going to say, we got a communication problem. So, no, you don't have a communication problem. You have a demonstrations of power problem with the man. Because I can tell you, if you can demonstrate your power properly and in this way that is unapologetic but tempered with heart and humility, and the attraction comes back, I guarantee you the relationship problems will start to disappear. A woman who is into you, who really wants to be with you, will help you solve the relationship problem. She won't sit here and battle you at every turn. She won't battle you every time you want to make a decision or battle you every time you discipline the kids. She'll actually say, hey, how do we come to some sort of resolution, instead of taking control of the steering wheel of the relationship and then driving it into a tree and then blaming you for it. So how do you do this? How do you level up your power, your personal power? Well, for one, you should be setting your boundaries. Like, what is it that you won't tolerate in your life? And stick to it. Be willing to walk away if you have to. Walk away from the conversation. Walk away from the marriage if you have to. Walk away from the relationship. State clearly, this is what I want and this is what I shall have. Then start making some bigger moves in your life. Like, go to the gym. Start coming up with a purpose. Start following omissions, hitting your habits, your targets, your goals. Most guys don't do this. You have to start leveraging personal power within and not off of her approval. If you're still leveraging approval-seeking behavior, then she's going to see this. She's like, yeah, none of this matters because all I could do is get upset, and then I can just say jump, and he'll say how high. But if you start decoupling yourself from her approval, and you start getting approval towards yourself by doing some cool big shit in the world, then she's going to start to feel that separation, and then she's going to want to come to you to try to get closeness. That closeness is what makes her feel safe. She will start seeking that connection from you. And if you are not willing to do this, if you can't go out there and actually start hitting your targets, and you are lacking in your personal power, you're going to find that doubling down on connection is just going to push her even further away, which is what all guys do when their wife is either cheating on them or she says, hey, I love you, but I'm not in love with you anymore. He's like, baby, can we talk about this? And he starts to do more for her. He starts to try harder. He says, I'll take the kids to school. I'll do more of the dishes. I'll clean up the house. I know you're overwhelmed. I'll do more, and I will just do anything you want me to do so you'll see that I'm the awesomest guy ever. And it's like, that doesn't work. What works is your ability to leverage personal power. It's taking a step back and saying, who the fuck am I? And what am I here to do? And see, if you really want to turn that around, you have to become a guy so powerful she would regret leaving. She's like, yeah, that would be a stupid move. But most guys never get to that point. They still ask for permission. They still try to leverage connection. They still try to talk about all the problems and come to a resolution instead of just moving forward powerfully and seeing if she'll follow. Brother, if this video is helpful for you, hit the like button. If you want to see more, obviously hit subscribe. If you're going through something like this, I'm telling you, go check out the link in the description below. Check out Soul Seducer because we've got this game handled. We got this shit figured out a long time ago. For us, it's just science. It's just science and repetition. These women all do the same thing, and men follow the same suit. And because it's a pattern, we know the patterns. And because we know the patterns, we know the solutions. So if you want to turn this around within the next week, check out Soul Seducer in the description below. I love you, brother, and I'll see you in the next video.